الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد. Today, inshallah ta'ala, يوم الجمعة ليلة السبت, the 10th of Dhul-Qa'dah, 1424 Hijri, 2nd of January, it being Friday, 2004. This is a monument to the work of Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah rahimahullah, the Aqidah that he wrote for the people of Waqid, being explained by Shaykh al-Islam Abu Abdullah Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah. We go over some of the matters that we took last time. We asked the brothers to explain basically bi'idhnillahi ta'ala where we're at. من غير تحريف ولا تعطيل ومن غير تكييف. And we believe in Allah Tabarak Ta'ala as He has described Himself in His book, with what He has described Himself with in His book, and in the manner in which the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has described Allah Tabarak Ta'ala with in the Sunnah, the authentic Sunnah. من غير تحريف, without تحريف, ولا تعطيل, without تعطيل, ومن غير تكييف. So someone courageous amongst you, then inshaAllah ta'ala take tahrif and explain to us what tahrif is. And someone else can take ta'atil, and then someone can take takyif. InshaAllah, none. Any of you. Maybe start asking by name. Tahrif, no. Correct? You like the way he's saying that? Changing, we're talking about in regards to the names and qualities of Allah. So that's what you have to mention creation, inshaAllah. Change, let's look at the word change, and what else can we put with it? Change. None I'm asking for one at a time, because change, distorting, or flame. Changing, distorting, or flame. Right? It's the word for the text regarding the names and qualities of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and it can be done in two ways. So what? Changing word, change to the word, the actual letter of the word, and changing the meaning. Example of changing the word, staw to what? Stawla. Saying that Allah Ta'ala arose over the throne, saying that He conquered the throne. Stawla, they added the line. Example of the meaning. Saying that it means what? Saying that it means, say, it's mercy or something. Sending of Allah means the mercy. The hand of Allah over their hand means the power of Allah. Like this. This is what? Tahrif, the distorting of flame. Changing the what? The meaning. Okay. Tahrif. Say it. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that, because in the last 2 or 3 sessions that we had, we spent some time on that. For those who are still unclear to, or who have some misunderstanding regarding it, they can, insha'Allah ta'ala, refer to the tape. من غير تعطيل. تفضل يا reject or deny the names and qualities of Allah Azza wa Jal, and it comes from an Arab term. Where does it come from? The Arabs say, bi'rin, where's the memory? Bi'rin mu'attala. A well that has been deserted. Talking about in the language now. And this ta'til that you just said, the ta'til or denying the name of Allah can be partially or can be totally. It can be partially or can be totally. Right? In other words, you can partially deny some of the names and qualities of Allah. Like the Asha'ira say we affirm 7 or like this. Or you can deny them totally. Or you can deny the name and affirm the quality or affirm the quality or deny the name like this. Now, there's something that came into when we describe ta'til. And we say that this ta'til is general. Anybody who plays with the names and qualities of Allah or rejects any name or quality of Allah Ta'ala or interprets it or changes it, he is in fact making ta'til. He is in fact what? Denying the names and qualities of Allah Ta'ala. This is easy to understand, right? Anybody who comes with another meaning, they had to reject first and foremost the first meaning that was there. You didn't reject the first meaning, you wouldn't have came up with what? Another meaning. You had to reject that first. In order for you to say the power of Allah Ta'ala, the hands of Allah means the power, you had to reject the fact that Allah affirms to himself a hand. Alright, now, we say there's a group that comes in between here. That they try to ascribe or connect to the people of Sunnah. And Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah describes them as the worst of Ahl al-Bidah. And they are who? The people of what? Tafweed is another term. Like I say to the brothers here, if this is your first or second jalsa with us, go over the previous tape, you get an understanding of these terminologies. We have explained them by the grace of Allah Ta'ala in great detail, so that no one can miss what they mean, inshaAllah Ta'ala. Tafweed is what? An individual says what? Before we get into what he's doing, let's explain, the details of what he's doing. Let's explain what it is actually. And he comes to a word, he comes to a quality of Allah Ta'ala. Allah rose over the throne. Or Allah Ta'ala, everything will be destroyed but the face of Allah Ta'ala. Everything will end but the face of Allah Ta'ala. Or the hand of Allah is over their hand. Or whatever the quality is. And he says what? I don't know what it means. Allahu A'lam what it means. And I leave it to Allah Ta'ala. Akhi, Allahu A'lam. Right? To him it's like Alif Lam Mim. The huruf, the letters that we don't understand, that begin verses of the Qur'an. Kayf Haya Ain Sad. To him, when he hears the hand of Allah is over their hands, it's like he hears Kayf Haya Ain Sad. Allah arose on the throne, it's like Kayf Haya Ain Sad. Allah descends to the heavens of the dunya at the third part of the night, it's like Kayf Haya Ain Sad. Allahu Alam, I don't know. This is what? This is the most evilest of the innovators, because he ascribes this to the Salaf. And he tries to claim that this is the way of the Salaf. But the Salaf don't do this because of the crimes that are involved when you do this. What are some of the crimes that he has fallen into when he does this? You mentioned one. What is it? Taqleeb al-Qur'an. Because Qur'an said that Allah said, I revealed this as an explanation for what? Everything. And now he's claiming that what? It doesn't explain everything. So he's what? Rejecting the Qur'an. Tajheel al-Rasul. He claimed that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is ignorant. Because now the Prophet is telling the Sahaba and the companions about qualities of Allah. He doesn't know what's coming out of his own mouth. Allah descends, he don't know what it means to descend. Allah rose over the throne, he doesn't know what it means. Tajheel al-Rasul, saying the Prophet is what? Ignorant, jahil. And opening the doors for the people of philosophy and others. Because if you say you don't know what it means, then that gives the opportunity for anybody on earth to come with a meaning that they want and place it. And you can't reject it because you just said you didn't know what it meant. So it could well mean what the philosophers want us or want it to mean, right? So this is the harms of tafweed, and it's not the minhaj of the salaf. It's not the aqidah of the salaf. Get that clear. But the aqidah of the salaf is that they make tafweed to the what? to the kayfiyah, to the how, not to the ma'na, to the meaning. No, Allah Ta'ala spoke to us in clear Arabic language in the Qur'an as to His qualities. The Prophet ﷺ speaks to us in a clear Arabic language in the Sunnah of the qualities of Allah that can be understood by anyone who understands the language. The ma'na is understood, but what is unknown, what we say Allahu Alam to, what we say we don't talk about, what we say we don't discuss, is the kayfiyah, is the how of Allah Ta'ala's qualities. Because this is unknown. This is unknown, which leads us to the next matter, which is taqyeed. Min ghayri taqyeed. Taqyeed is to ask about what? The how. Or to describe a quality and say it's like this. It's like it's upon this kayfiyah. This is how it is. This is something that is forbidden, and this is something that is to ask about is a bid'ah, innovation. And this is where we at with the Shaykh, excuse me, rahimahullah. And we took some of the statements that he brought regarding this issue, regarding taqyeed. What was his response, though, to those who said, Tariqat al-Salaf Aslam? The way of the Salaf is safe, the safest way. ولكن طريقة الخلف, but the way of those who came later, أعلم, more knowledgeable, وأحكم, more wise. What was the response to this stupidity? Anybody recall? No. I mean that in reality, if you hear of a path that is safer, that path is in fact safer because there is more knowledge contained in it and more wisdom. Yeah. More knowledge contained in it and more wisdom. And therefore, it is the safest based upon that. And we gave an example that if somebody told you a path leading to a particular geographical location that you want to go to, and someone said, well, this one is full of all kinds of problems. Highway robbers will attack you. There are all types of holes that you can fall in along the way. There's this and that and the other. Whereas this particular path is the safest, then, of course, you would take the safest path. So the fact that they said that the path of the Salaf is Aslam means that the path of the Salaf would be, in fact, A'lam, more knowledgeable, and Ahkam, more wise. If it was not for the fact of it being more knowledge-based and more wise, it would not be safe. How can it be safe without knowledge and without wisdom? Like this. Anyway, Shaykh al-Islam says that this is Qaliha, the one who said it, is min al-Aqliyah. He's from the stupid one. But you'll find that most of the Azharis, those who have studied in al-Azhar, and most of those who have studied Jawhar al-Tawheed, and most of them have studied in most of these schools of Asha'ira, this is something that they study, and this is a point that they make, and this is a piece of philosophy, if you will, that they take and they base their knowledge on. They are the Khalaf. The Khalaf are those who came later, the later generation. And the Khalaf, they regretted what they went into of munfaq, logic, of translating the books from, Arabizing the books from Greek to Arabic, the books of Hindu philosophers to Arabic, and then taking that to the Bible, in the area of belief. At the end of the day, they regretted this. Upon their deathbeds, many of them regretted it and said that they wish that they were on the Aqidah of what? The Ajaiz, or the old women, the old people, or the illiterate people. That they got nothing out of all of this philosophy and all of this scholasticism regarding these issues and going to all of these matters. They got nothing out of it but qeel wa qal. He said. And they have basic pieces of poetry that they stated, and we read these pieces of poetry and we translated them. Now, Now, we were upon the statement of Imam Malik, rahimahullah, about the istiwa, the rising of Allah ta'ala. But before that, we got to the fact of the al-Sunnah la yukayyifun. The people of Sunnah don't ask about the how of Allah ta'ala. And we said basic evidences for this were two basic evidences from Qur'an. All this is in the way of review. Yani that Allah ta'ala says, do not speak about Allah, do not say about Allah that which you don't know. And so one saying that the how of Allah ta'ala's quality is like this or this, is speaking about Allah, about that which he what? Doesn't know. And Allah says, La taquf ma laysa laka bi'ilm. Don't say about that or talk about that or get involved in that which you have no knowledge. Right? Because all of these matters, the hearing, the sight, alaykum salam, and the heart, it will be asked about. And then we said a dalil aqli, a rational dalil as to why you wouldn't ask, because in order for you to know the how of something, you would have to have witnessed it, or you would have to have witnessed that which is similar, equal, just like it, or you would have been informed by someone who is truthful about it. And all three of these is something that is what? That has not happened and will not happen regarding the how of Allah's quality. We have not witnessed the reality and the how of Allah's quality, nor have we seen that which is similar to the qualities of Allah ta'ala, nor has somebody truth informed us as to the how and reality of Allah ta'ala's quality. So this is how we know that our intelligence and our intellect doesn't lead us to that. Check this example. That a man who bought a car, he said Datsun, model 88, and number 2000. You'll know it because if you have the same type of car, or you know it because somebody informed you that they saw a car that was just like that, or you have the car, or you've seen the car, or somebody informed you they have a car like that it has these type of qualities in this regard. So the ulama have jawabun latifan. They have a very subtle and knowledge-based answer when they say bidun taqyid, without a how. They don't mean that we don't believe that Allah Ta'ala has a how. Of course, everything in existence has a how. But they deny that we know how the reality of Allah Ta'ala's qualities are. Then istiwa of Allah ala arsh, the rising of Allah upon his throne, la shak, and lahu kayfiyya. You see why I'm at here? You with me? Okay? And lahu kayfiyya, that it has a how. Lakin la ta'lam, we don't know that how. And the descending of Allah Ta'ala from descending to the seven heavens, to the heavens of the dunya, has a how. But we don't know how that how is. Yani, it's majhula, it's unknown to us. It's majhula, unknown to us. غير معلومة. When Imam Malik alayhimullah was asked, and this is a very important story to memorize and to know, Ar-Rahmanu ala istawa, the most merciful arose above the throne. And we said that the Salaf has four expressions for that arising. And all of them say arising or settled or like this. They have four expressions regarding that. Sa'ada, qad sa'ada, irtafa'a, qad ala, istaqarra. These are the statements of the Salaf regarding istiwa. Kayf istawa, how did he arise? How did he rise above the throne? Imam Malik rahimahullah put his head down, started to sweat profusely, right? Getting very upset that the questioner would have the audacity to ask such a question. Then he raised his head and said, Al-istiwa ghair majhul. The rising of Allah Ta'ala over the throne is not unknown. Yani min hayth al-ma'na. And it's understood, ma'loom. Sometimes the narration says, istiwa ma'loom. The rising of Allah over the throne is known. Then the look at the Arabiya, the Arabic language, is right before us. And every place in the Qur'an that it says istiwa, it is conveyed with the harf jar, with the letter a'la, ma'naha ulu, al-ulu, highness. So therefore he said, istiwa غير مجهول, not unknown. وكيف غير معقول. And the how, in one narration he says مجهول is unknown. Or غير معقول, cannot be determined by the intellect. The how. لأن أقل, the intelligence, cannot understand, cannot reach the how of Allah's quality. Because it has been denied from the standpoint of the legislation, you don't know the how. وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِهِ عِلْمًا. You will not be able to encompass with your knowledge. وَأَقْلِي, intellectually we just said, in order for us to know the how of Allah's quality, we would have to have witnessed it, or witness that which is similar to it, or somebody who is super-informed us of it, and all three of these are something that has not been done. So وَجَبَ كَفْ عَنْهَا, then it's obligatory that we stop, and that we don't go into the how, and that we don't ask about it, and we don't try to imagine it. Kaf anha means all that. Stop. Don't transgress the boundaries. وَالْإِيمَانُ بِهِ wajib, to believe in it is obligatory. Why? Because Allah informed us of it. But wajib tasdiquhu, so we must believe in the truthfulness of it. If Allah said it, then it's the what? The truth. And if Allah said it, then we must what? Believe in it. وَالسُّؤَالَ عَنْهُ بِدْعَةٌ, to ask about the how is an innovation. Is an innovation. Su'al kayfiyya, how is a bid'ah. Because those who were the most concerned about knowledge, which were the what? The Sahaba. مَا سَأَلُوا عَنْهَا, they never asked about it. They had the adab, the manners. They had the respect, the ihtiram. They had the fahm, the understanding that you don't ask these type of questions. وَهُمَ السَّحَابَةِ, they are the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, and the Sheikh doesn't mention it here, but just by way of knowledge, that the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not ask the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam except about 13 matters or more, all of them in Qur'an, saying, they ask you about the mountains, they ask you about this, they ask you about that. All of them beginning like that. They never asked about the qualities of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, or the how, the qualities of Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. لما قال Allah, when Allah said, استوى على العرش, he arose over the throne. عرفوا, they knew it. عرفوا عظمة الله, they knew the greatness of Allah. عليه السلام. ومعنى الاستواء على العرش, and his arising or settling over the throne. وإنه لا يمكن أن تسأل, and it's not possible to ask, كيف استوى, how did he arise? لأنك لن تدرك ذلك, you will not be able to understand that. Your mind is not able to perceive that. That is something that you're not able to achieve. فنحن إذا سئلنا, so therefore if we are asked, فنقول هذا السؤال بدعة, brother, this question in itself is a bid'ah. This question in itself is a bid'ah. كلام إمام مالك رحمه الله, إمام دار الهجرة, is a mizan, is a scale, is a yardstick by which you judge, or is a yardstick that is used لجميع الصفات, for all the qualities. فإن قيل لك, if someone says to you مثلا, for example, إن الله, very Allah, descends to the heavens of the dunya. How does he descend? We say, فالنزول غير مجهول, the nuzul is known. وكيف غير معقول, the how of it is unknown, or intellectually you cannot know it. والإيمان به واجب, to believe in it is what? Obligatory. والسؤال عنه بدعة, is an innovation. And those who say, how can Allah descends in the third part of the night, when the third part of the night is at different times and different places and like this, and it's dark here and it's not dark there, and all this type of madness, right? فنقول, we say, سؤال هذا بدعة, this question is what? Innovation. Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah answers this
and other of his other works that he has. But the point he's making here is one that will put you in total ease, in total relaxation, in total safety from this type of madness, right? And that is to say pointedly and directly, su'al hada bid'ah. This particular su'al, brother, that you just asked is an innovation. Kayfa tas'al an shay? How can you ask about something ma sa'ala anhu sahaba that companions didn't ask about? That's how you talk to him. You on the way to Sahaba or you on some other way? You on Sabil al-Mu'mineen or you on some other way? You on the way to the first believers or you on some other way? You on the Salafiyah, Athariyah, the way of Ta'ibat al-Mansura, Firqat al-Najiyah, or you on some other way? If you're on the way of the Sahaba, how can you ask about something that the Sahaba never asked about? How can you find fit for yourself to go into an issue that the Sahaba never went into? How can you do that? فالسؤال هذا بدعة. كيف تسأل شيء ما سأل عنه الصحابة? How can you dare? How can you have the gumption? How can you have audacity to ask about something that the companions of the Prophet ﷺ never asked about? وهم أحرص منك. They were more concerned than you. They wanted to seek knowledge more than you. They were better than you. They were seeking the pleasure of Allah more than you. They are more sincere than you. They have more concern about their deen than you. Hum ahras minka ala khayr. They have more concern about good. Wa ala ilm. More concern for knowledge regarding what is obligatory regarding Allah. Wa lasna bi'a'lam min rasul. And we don't have more knowledge than the messenger, nor knowledge than the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he did not teach him this. He did not go into these issues. فَسُؤَالُكَ, your question, هذا bid'ah, the innovation. Your question is a bid'ah. وَلَوْلَا, the Shaykh is being nice and gentle with those who were not raised on the Aqidah al Salaf. Those who didn't come from the madrasa of Tawheed and Sunnah. Those who did not graduate on the hands of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam and the Sahaba. Those who may have went through the schools of bid'ah and innovation, and the books of bid'ah innovation, the circles of bid'ah innovation, cassette recordings of bid'ah innovation, the speakers of bid'ah innovation. He's being gentle with them when he says, وَلَا إِنَّنَا نُحْسِنَ ظَنَّ بِكَ. And if we didn't have good thoughts about you, لَقُلْنَا مَا يَلِيكَ بِكَ بِإِنَّكَ رَجُلٌ مُبْتَدِعٌ. We would have said that would befit you, that you are a man of innovation. هكذا. The people, many of them have not been raised up on the minhaj al-salaf. Many of them have not been raised on the minhaj al-salaf. And we used to observe the patience of these teachers of Salafiyah, the patience of the mashayikh and the scholars of Salafiyah with the people, with the general masses who have been corrupted either by ulama usul, so-called ulama of evil, who are people of bid'ah innovation far away from the sunnah, the people who taught the Aqidah al-Asha'ira, or the Aqidah al-Maturidiyya, or the Aqidah of the Mutasawwifa and Sufiyya. These are in the minds, this is what is on the minds of the common layman. And he may come and ask a question, not knowing that in this question he's transgressing the bounds. Not knowing this question that doesn't befit a believer to ever ask such a thing, let alone think about it. And if he thinks about it, he should be so ashamed that he should seek refuge in Allah Ta'ala and never let anyone know that he thought about it, let alone open his mouth to even speak of it and ask of it. They don't know this. So we used to sit in the circles of Sheikh Muhammad Amman al-Jami, Abu Ahmad rahimahullah. And he would be teaching Aqidah Hamawiyya or some other book in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. And someone would come, because everyone comes to Medina. Someone would come. I remember one occasion, one individual come. Salaamu alaykum ya Shaykh, from the distance. Salaamu alaykum ya Shaykh. Alaykum salam. He has to what? He has to interrupt the dars. Naam ya Hajj. Yeah, what you want, ya Hajji? And Shaykh, it's impossible, it's almost impossible to make tawaf around the grave of the Prophet ﷺ from this direction. What direction do I stop? Tawaf. around the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya Hajj, there's no tawaf except around the Kaaba. But and he was gentle with them and nice with them and easy with them. Most of us would have said, ya Khabith, ya. Right? Like this. But we found that they were easy with the people in teaching, gentle with the people in explaining to them. Questions would come about istiwa. Questions would come about the ulu of Allah ta'ala. And Shaykh Umar Falati rahimahullah, who taught in the Rawda, but often you would hear him all throughout the masjid, and because of his thick voice, his deep voice. And he would be talking about the oneness of the highness of Allah ta'ala above his throne often, because the people simply don't know. So this is why the Shaykh is saying, it was not that we had what? Good thoughts about you. We would say that which befits you. We would say about you that which befits you. That you're an innovator. But before we can say that to someone who has never heard the book of Allah Ta'ala explained, has never heard the authentic Sunnah, never has the son of the Risala of Muhammad ﷺ reached his ears. He's been in darkness because of innovation, da'if ahadith, mawdu ahadith, and his biyah and the like. We have to explain to him what the haqq is first. Make clear to him what the reality is first. Well, Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala qala. Imam Malik said to that man, because this man was living in a time where the Sahaba or the Tabi'een, the Tabi'eens, mutawafirun were a lot. In Medina, they were the greatest of scholars, the Imam, the Imams of Sunnah, everyone upon the Aqidah Salima, the correct Aqidah. And here this fool comes and asks, what is istiwa? How is istiwa? How is istiwa? The istiwa. So this is why he says, Ma araka illa mubtadi'an, Imam Malik says. I don't see you except as an innovator. ثم أمر فأخرج. Then he ordered that he be kicked out. Move the mubtadi' on the spot. Deportation from the masjid of the Prophet. Pull him out. Pull him out from amongst the people. Kick him out of the masjid. ما أراك إلا مبتدئا. Don't see except that you're an innovator. Who else would come with a question like this? No one asks a question like this. Right? لأن السلف يكرهون. Salaf have a hatred. أهل البدع. Before one says, he said makruh. You said hate. Kiraha here is in this type. Two types of kiraha. You think he's talking about the kiraha? Well, you know, it's better not to deal with them, but you can go ahead. Huh? Better not to be around them, but go ahead, akhi. No. Kiraha, tahreem. Kiraha, in this case, kiraha here, not, yani, yakrahun, yani, yubghidun. They hated them. They had a bughd, shadid lahum. Not like some of us. Some of us have sunnah in our heart, supposedly. At the same time, we love the people of bid'ah. I don't know how you got love for sunnah in your heart, but you love the people of bid'ah. You know, you got a little soft spot for the people of bid'ah. Why, you're nothing but muqtadi yourself, probably. You know? You're nothing but muqtadi yourself. You got an infatuation with the sunnah, but you ain't got no real relationship with it. You know? You know? Got no real relationship with the sunnah, acting like that. Yeah? You got a relationship with the sunnah and you're courting bid'ah. Be monogamous in your love. Your love for the sunnah. لأن السلف يكرهون أهل البدع. They hate the people of innovation. And they hate their words. كلامهم. And they hate their اعتراضاتهم. And he means the things they come up with as questions regarding the sunnah. You know how they always come up with questions? They always got a question. They don't have nothing with just acceptance. They got to question something. وَتَقْدِيرَاتِهِمْ, their measurements. And the things that they judge things by. وَمُجَادِلَاتِهِمْ, their arguing. This is how they are. They ask, they talk, they debate, they come up with analogies. Well, if that's like that, then that means just like this. And that and this and all of that is corrupt. The proposition itself is corrupt, let alone before he speaks it to us. So that Salaf hated all of this from Ahlul Bidah. Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, is not just talking here to be talking. He said they hated Ahlul Bidah and their words and their propositions or their statements and their measurements or analysis, and their arguing. And in other words, he hated everything about Ahlul Bidah. He hated everything about Ahlul Bidah. فَأَنْتَ يَا أَخِي, so you are my brother. عَلَيْكَ فِي هَذَا الْبَابِ بِالتَّسْلِيمِ. Upon you in this particular area we are talking about the Tawheed of Allah Tabarak Ta'ala and His Asma wa Sifat. The names of Allah Tabarak Ta'ala, the qualities of Allah Tabarak Ta'ala, بِالتَّسْلِيمِ, with submission, total submission. فَمِن تَمَامِ الْإِسْلَامِ لِلَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ, from the completeness of your submission, from the completeness of your Islam to Allah Tabarak Ta'ala, your submission to Allah, أَلَّا تَبْحَثْ فِي هَذِهِ الْأُمُورِ, that you don't go into these matters, that you don't research these matters, that you don't go into a lot of detail in these matters. This is part of your what? This is completion of your Islam, your istislam, your submission to Allah Tabarak Ta'ala, is that you don't go into these matters like that. وَلِهَذَا أُحَذِّرُكُمْ دَائِمًا, and because of this I warn you all the time, the Shaykh is saying. وَأُحَذِّرُكُمْ دَائِمًا, I warn you all the time. مِنَ الْبَحْثِ, from going in deep detail, searching these issues. فِيمَا يَتَعَلَّقُ بِأَسْمَاءِ اللَّهِ وَصِفَاتِهِ, in matters that are connected to the names and qualities of Allah. I'm going into a lot of detail. Al-Sabil al-Ta'annat wa-Tanattu', yani deep, hair splitting. Deep, going deep. You know what the Sheikh means. Some of us in this room is masters of deepness. We can probably tell the Sheikh more about deepness. Ta'annat, going too far. Going too far. وَالشَّيْء الَّذِي مَا سَأَلَ الصَّحَابَ عَنْهُ, going to things that the Sahaba never asked about. Abu Bakr never asked about. Umar would never ask about. Uthman would never ask about. Ali, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Abu Bakr ibn Zurah, they would never ask about. And here you come, you're going to ask? You want to know? هذا. لأننا إذا فتحنا على أنفسنا هذه أبواب. Showing mercy, the Sheikh says, if we open up upon ourselves these doors, if we open up these doors, then many things will come. We will open up the way to many things. We will remove the shields from ourselves, and we will find an inability to control ourselves and to center ourselves. You lose control. You'll be all over the place. Your mind have all types of beliefs in it. All types of unnatural beliefs. Strange things. Wasawis. Inspirations from shaitan and whispering from shaitan. Open up that door. Destroy yourself. Don't open that door. Please don't open that door. Open up that door. You've opened more than Pandora's box. You've destroyed your aqidah. Destroyed your mind. Destroyed your heart. فَلِذَلِكَ, because of this we say, سَمِعْنَا, we hear, وَأَتَعْنَا, and obey, وَآمَنَّا, and believe, وَصَدَّقْنَا, and we affirm, and we affirm it. We hear, we obey, we believe, and we affirm it. We hear, we obey, we believe, and we affirm it. آمَنَّا وَصَدَّقْنَا بِالْخَبَرِ, we believe and we affirm as truthful the information that Allah Ta'ala has revealed in the Qur'an and has spoken to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and revealed in the Sunnah. For both of them are revelations from Allah. And we have obeyed the orders of Allah Ta'ala. And we have heard the statements. This is so we will be what? Safe. Safe from the fire. Safe from dalala, going astray. Safe from misguidance. This is the only way. Have tariqat salama. This is a method of safety. وأي إنسان, anybody asking, يسأل فيما يتعلق بصفات الله, asking about matters connected to the qualities of Allah, something that the companions never asked about, you should say to him, like Imam Malik said, فَإِنَّ لَكَ سَلَفًا, because in this case you have someone from the Salaf. They used to say, woe to you from saying something that you don't have Iman in. Woe to you from saying something that you don't have a Salaf. فَإِنَّ لَكَ سَلَفًا, you have a Salaf in this regard. And this is what it means to be Salafi. What it means to be Salafi if you're not going to take from the usul of these A'immah, the tawabit of these A'immah, these qawaid, these principles, and the adab and the wisdoms of these Imams. He says, so he's showing us what it means in this regard to be a Salafi, that someone comes and asks you regarding the names and qualities of Allah, that which the companions of the Prophet ﷺ never asked, you must say like Imam Malik said, Ya Salafi, for he is to you a Salaf in this regard, a su'al and hadha bid'ah. Akhi, what you're asking about is an innovation. Akhi, what you're asking about is a bid'ah, akhi. وَإِذَا قُلْتَ ذَلِكَ, you said that, he won't come to you with anything. And if he wants to come to you with anything, فَقُولْ, then say. These are the words of Ibn Taymiyyah, for those who thought that he was soft. Words of Ibn Taymiyyah, for those who don't know his madrasa. Way of Ibn Taymiyyah, for those who don't know who Ibn Taymiyyah is. Who don't know who Ibn Taymiyyah is. فَقُلْ يَا مُبْتَدِعْ, or you innovator, سؤال عنه بدعة, to ask about this innovation. أسأل عن أحكام التي أنت مكلف بها. Ask about regulations and rules and duties that you're responsible for. أما أن تسأل عن شيء, but to ask about something يتعلق بالرب, that's connected to the Lord عز وجل and his names and qualities, لم يسأل عنه الصحابة, that the Sahaba did not ask about, فهذا لا نقبله منك أبدا, this we will never accept from you. Ibn Taymiyyah, what you got to say about Ibn Taymiyyah? Allahu musta'an. وهناك كلام السلف, they are the words of the Salaf, showing us that they understood the meaning of these names and qualities. They understood the meaning of what Allah revealed upon his messenger of these qualities, like the words of al-Awza'i rahimahullah and others. They used to say regarding the qualities of Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the ayat, the verses of Qur'an, and the qualities of Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the ahadith, pass them on as they came, without how. Pass them on, amurruha kama ja'at bila kayf. Pass them on as they came, without how. This shows us that they affirm the meaning, that the names and qualities of Allah Ta'ala, the ayat, the verses of Qur'an, dealing with the names and qualities of Allah, they believed in the meanings from two aspects. First, they say pass them on as they have come. And it's known that letters and words come with what? A meaning. And don't come abathan. Don't come just to waste time. When words are spoken, when Allah Ta'ala speaks, the words have what? A meaning. فَإِذَا, so if we take it and we pass them on as they came, this means that we understood the meaning of it. Because we passed them on as they came. As a matter of fact, if you didn't understand the meaning of it, you couldn't pass it on as it came. If you didn't understand the meaning of it, you would pass it on in a different form than it came. The fact that you understand the meaning of it, that you can preserve that meaning, keep that meaning intact, and you can pass it on just as it came. ثانيا, secondly, قولهم بلا كيف, without how. Without how. And he said because if he's denying how here, and he asking about the how and going to the how, then it shows that the existence of the original meaning is understood. The asal of the ma'na, of the original meaning, is understood. Because you won't deny the how of something that doesn't have a meaning. That would be laqwan wa abad. That would be waste of time. Either in Fahad al-Kalam Mashhur, these words that are well known from the Salaf show us that they understood the meanings of the names and qualities of Allah Ta'ala in Qur'an and Hadith, and that they affirmed for these texts the meaning. This is a show. He is really in here refuting the mufawwid, those who make tafweed. It has a ma'na, akhi. The names and qualities of Allah have a meaning. Have a meaning. And that meaning must be affirmed. You can't go around saying, Allahu Alam, I don't know what that means. You know? Rose of the throne, I don't know what that means. Fil ulu, he's in highness, I don't know what that means. No, it has a ma'na. Has a ma'na fil lughat al-Arabiyyah, in the Arabic language. Has a ma'na that can be understood, a meaning understood. The thing that is not understood is the exact how of it. Okay, we said that in this area you must be devoid of 4 diseases. And we mentioned tahrif, the Shaykh mentioned. And he mentioned what? Ta'til. And he mentioned takyif. And lastly, at-tamthil. Tamthil. Tamthil is similarity. يعني من غير تمثيل. We believe in Allah without any similarities to Him. For the people of Sunnah, the Salafiyun, Ahl al-Athar, Ashab al-Hadith, these people are innocent and disavow themselves of making any similarities between Allah and His what? His creatures. La fi dhatihi, the actual essence, the actual self of Allah Ta'ala, wa la fi sifatihi, the actual qualities of Allah Ta'ala. No tamthil, akhi. No similarity. At-tamthil is to mention mumathil li shay, that something is similar to something. وبينه وبين تقييد عموم وخصوص مطلق. And tamthil, asking similarity and how. But not everything that you give a how to is similar to something else. Then تقييد ذكر كيفية غير مقرون بمفاثل. Because if you were to give a how, you can give a how of something, a description of a how of something without connecting it to something that's similar. He gives an example to make it clear. You can say, li qalam, I have a pen, kayfiyatuhu kadha wa kadha. How of it is like this. I have a pen that's like this, and that's like this. If you are comparing with something that's similar to it, then you've made what? A similarity. But if you haven't done this, then you've just what? Talked about the how of it. So you say, for instance, this pen is similar to this pen. Akhi, you got a blue pen? I got a blue pen. This pen is similar to what? This pen. This is tamthil. Saying that this thing is similar to that thing. He wants us to know that just because a person says the how of something, doesn't mean particularly that they are making a similarity of something. Right? I hope that's clear. I don't think that's hard to understand. I don't think that's clear, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That you can give a description of something, like he said, with the pen, and it might not be any other pen that you know similar to it. You might believe that this pen is something that is unique. And my pen is like this and that, and you have not in any way caused it to be compared to another pen. But when you say that this pen is similar to that pen, you have made what? Tamthil. Which is what we are talking about now. Tamthil. Making similarities. Wa Ahl al-Sunnah, the people of Sunnah, wal-Jama'ah, those who gather up on it from the way of the Sahaba, yuthbituna lillahi azza jal sifat. They affirm for Allah Ta'ala qualities. Bidun mumathila. Without any similarities. Understand this point. They confirm for Allah qualities. Bidun mumathila. Without any similarities. Yaqulun, they say, and we say with them, in Allah azza jal, very Allah azza wal jal, lahu hayah. He's all living. He's alive, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But his life is not like our life. And our life is not like his life. And Allah has knowledge. And his knowledge is not like our knowledge. And our knowledge is not like his knowledge. Hakada? Correct? Allah Ta'ala has sight, sees, and his seeing is not like our seeing. Has a face, and his face is not like the face of the creatures. Hand, and his hands not like the hands of his what? Creatures. Understand this. Hakada jami' sifat, brothers. This is in every quality, that there's nothing or no one like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing is similar to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. يقولون, they say and we say with them, إن الله عز وجل لا يماثل خلقه. يعني لا يماثل خلقه. يعني that Allah ta'ala is not similar to his creatures. فيما وصف به نفسه أبدا. In a manner which has described himself never. In whatever manner Allah Ta'ala has described himself, he is not like his creatures, not similar to his creatures. And they have evidence for this statement. They have evidence for these statements. Evidence sam'iyyah and evidence aqliyyah. Evidence sam'iyyah means what? From the revelation from Qur'an and Sunnah. Evidence aqliyyah means rational, intellectual evidences. I think you're getting used to Ibn Taymiyyah. Adillah sam'iyyah, the evidences from the revelation from Qur'an, from al-khabar, from what Allah has informed us. Qawluhu ta'ala, the statement of Allah, laysa kamithlihi shay. There is nothing similar to him. Shura, verse 11. فالآية, this ayah, فيها نفي صريح, is a clear denying of tamtheel, of any similarity. وقوله, in his statement, هل تعلم له سمية? Do you know anyone similar to him that has the right to have his name? This is Surah Maryam 65. It's su'al in the form of insha, but in the form of information, istitham, a question of denial. You don't know anyone like him. You don't know anyone equal, anyone similar to Allah Ta'ala. Huh? Do you? You don't. Qulu billahi alaykum. You don't. Huh? لأنه استفهام. It's a question بمعنى النفي. Question with a meaning of denying. هل تعلم له سمية? You know someone who has a right to bear his name. Someone who has his qualities. Someone who's similar to him. No. No way. Impossible. Never happened. فإن هذا وإن يعني وأيضا ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Kufu, no equal. Lam yakun, yani it doesn't exist. Has never been, will never be. Any kufu. Huh? Any kufu. Any equal. Anyone similar. Anyone like. Ahadun, not anyone like him subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَهَذَا كُلُّهُ تَدُلُّ عَلَى النَّفْيِ مُمَاثِلَةٍ. All of these are verses that deny any what? Similarity. Any likeness between Allah Ta'ala and his creatures. Huh? وَهِيَ كُلَّهَا خَبَرِيَّةٌ. All of it is Allah Ta'ala informing of this matter. Then he has requested, subhanahu, a-talab, and he has ordered us to refrain from this matter. It's not like we're free to do it. You're free to make tamtheel. Well, you want to make similarities for Allah Ta'ala? Go ahead, Aqi. Go ahead. Huh? Go ahead. You know, what's the harm in it? No. Allah Ta'ala has forbidden us from it. فَقَالَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى, Allah the Exalted said, فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ. فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ أَمْثَالِ. Before that, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. Do not make for Allah an equal, a nid. A nid. Nid is an equal, a partner, someone similar. Someone has the same quality. Someone has this is a nid. Allah says what? فَلَا Do not تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا Do not make for Allah any equals. This is a denial of what? Anyone similar. Telling you don't do that. Forbidding you from doing it. Brother, don't think it. Brother, don't imagine it. Brother, don't let it come upon your mind, upon your heart, that anyone or anything is equal to Allah Ta'ala. أَيِّ نُظَرَاء مُمَاثِلِينَ Similar, equal and similar to him. وَقَالَ And he said, that's Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 22, by the way. He said in Surah Al-Nahl, verse 74, فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ Don't you make any similarities with Allah. Don't you make any likenesses with Allah. This is a what? Tahreem. This is forbidden. Don't imagine a similarity with Allah. Yarahamakallah. You go to sleep and you dream a similarity with Allah. Wake up. Wake up. Stop that. Cut that out. And if it comes to your mind, seek refuge in Allah. Well, it's nothing but shaitan. Well, this is the reality of the situation, that there exists no equal for Allah Ta'ala. There exists no equal for Allah Ta'ala. فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ فَمَنْ مَثَلَ اللَّهُ بِخَلْقِهِ So he who makes a similarity between Allah Ta'ala and his creatures, he who says that Allah Ta'ala is like his creatures, فَقَدْ كَذَبَ الْخَبَرِ He's rejected these verses of Qur'an, has he not? The khabar, what we've been informed of in Surah Shura, verse 11, Surah Maryam, verse 65, and Surah Ikhlas, verse 4. He just rejected that out of hand by what? Making for Allah similarity. وَأَصَى الْأَمْرِ Then he disobeyed Allah. Right? How did he disobey Allah? Because Allah told him what? Do not make for him any similarities. Do not make for him any equals. And here he go, making an equal. Here he goes saying the hand of Allah like our hand. The face of Allah like our face. And if he doesn't say it, he thinks it. He has what? Disobeyed Allah Ta'ala. Well, he had look about the Salaf. Because of this, the Salaf has said, because of takfir, declaring a disbeliever, those who make a similarity between Allah and his creatures. Those who make a likeness between Allah and his creatures. فَقَالَ نَعِيمٌ بن حَمَّادٍ الْخُزَائِي We took this before, and we said memorize it. Na'im bin Hammad al-Khuzai, the Shaykh al-Bukhari said what? مَنْ شَبَهَ اللَّهُ بِخَلْقِهِ فَقَدْ كَفَرَ Whoever makes a likeness between Allah and his creatures has disbelieved. Whoever makes a similarity between Allah and his creatures has disbelieved. Whoever makes a likeness between Allah and his creatures has what? Disbelieved. فَقَدْ كَفَرَ لأنه جمع بين تكذيب الخبر وصيانة الطلب Because he has gathered between rejection of the information that Allah has given us and disobedience of the order that Allah has told us. You understand his point? He's gathered between rejection of the information. Allah said, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ And here you're going to say, Allah says there's nothing like him. You're going to say, well, this is like him. This is what? This is takdeeb. This is rejection, akhi. Allah said nothing like him, and you're saying, this is like him. Allah says, do you know anyone like him, equal to him? And you say, yeah, this is. Right? Allah says, لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ There's nothing equal to him. You say, well, this is. Right? This is similar. This here. Right? So what have you done? You rejected. You belied. You like the term belied? And he belied. Declared a lie, basically. You're saying Allah Ta'ala is lying. Reject what he's saying. Right? No, his hand like our hand. Face like our face. See somebody look like him the other day. A'udhu billah, ya mushrik, ya mulhid. Huh? Huh? This is their statement. Walking around on earth, some of them said, right? Right? Got sent to Detroit. All this type of man was in Detroit running around. Come on now. Come on now. You have rejected the statement of Allah Ta'ala. and you went against the order. For Allah said, فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا. Don't make for Allah any similarities, any equal. And Allah said, فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ. Get that out your mind, brother. Clean it up. Straighten yourself up. You have not believed in Allah Ta'ala properly. You have rejected what Allah has said about himself. You went against the order of Allah Ta'ala. If you believe or imagine that Allah Ta'ala has anything, that there's anything in existence that is similar to Allah al-Wahid al-Qahhar, to Allah Ta'ala, you've lost the path. You've misguided. You're on your way to a very unhappy destination. So these are some of the evidences. Now he's going to go into the rational evidences as to why we can understand that there's no similarity between Allah and his creatures. But that will take some time, so we'll do it bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. If Allah spares us on our next sitting, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, with this monument to work, the Aqidah to the people of Wasitiyyah, by Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, explained by Abu Abdullah Ahmad bin Salih al-Thaymain. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد. If there's any questions, inshallah. ما في شيء. جيد. هو you got something? What about there? I don't know if we hooked up tonight. No questions? هذا جميل جدا. جيد. Everybody's on clarity, inshallah. Either on clarity or scared. One or the other. Don't want to say, I told you I'm mubtadi'. You don't want to hear that, huh? Because I was sure ready to practice it. None. Huh? Tashbih. It's the same thing. Yani shabbaha. It's a similarity. Tashbih with tamtheel. And that's why you notice that he used the statement of Naim Hamad, and Naim Hamad says shabbaha. It's used. They're quite similar. There's some differences in a very restricted area, but both are used. Don't be scared to ask out here. We're not going to bite you. Na'am. Huh? No. Asking how? Where is it? How was it worded? How is it worded? Muruha. Kama ja'at. Statement of Awza'i. What about it? The first one, that they understood the meaning. They affirmed the meaning. Or if they didn't affirm the meaning, he wouldn't say, pass it on as it came. They affirmed the meaning. And the statement is not, missed this complete statement of Bukhari. It's not the statement of Bukhari. It's the statement of his Sheikh, Naim ibn Hamad al-Khuzai. And we didn't say the complete statement this time. The Sheikh only used portion of the statement. And that those who make a likeness between Allah and his creatures has disbelieved. There's two other portions of the statement you can find, inshallah ta'ala, on the two tapes that preceded this. Idhnillahi ta'ala. And I rather would do it that way. I might have it here. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. It says, "Man shabbaha Allah bi khalqihi kafara." He who makes similarity between Allah and his creatures has become a disbeliever. And he who denies what Allah has described himself with has become a disbeliever. He who denies the manner in which Allah has described himself has become a disbeliever. And there's nothing in the manner in which Allah has described himself with, or how the Prophet has described Allah, any sort of similarity between Allah and his creatures. This can be found in Aqidah al Wasitiyyah, the translation. I don't know what page it was that time we looked it up. I think 39, between 37, page 37 or 39. But we have mentioned it on at least 2 or 3 tapes. The last 2 or 3 tapes we have talked about that. But that's the portion that the Sheikh mentioned tonight, or that we mentioned from the Sheikh tonight, because that's the only portion that he was referring to. Those who make similarities. Those who make a likeness between Allah and his creatures has disbelieved. It's on page what? 37 in the Aqidah al Wasitiyyah that's been translated by Dar al-Salam. No. خلصنا هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد